Okay, we got the sluice set up. We've got all 4 of our legs adjusted, and you notice they're kind of cambered out so that it will actually stay in the flow. Now, when you're running this much water velocity through the sluice on a single level riffle or a single layer, you got way too much water velocity. We've got a pretty good flow coming through the stream here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop our screens in, and then we'll run some material through it, and then one of the buckets will actually salt some gold in it. And what we're interested to see is where the gold actually ends up. If we're getting in the front of the sluice, if it's making down into the carpet, traditionally if you use too much water velocity, the water flow is traveling so fast it doesn't allow specific gravity to take action. So the whole idea of using these screens is to keep the higher velocity up above the screen, lower velocity below the screen, so that the classified material has a chance to drop out. So we're going to try this, and if we get too much water velocity underneath, we might try bolting that plate on.
Should be interesting.
We're doing lots of different configurations. We don't know exactly how it's going to work. That's why we're here today.
So what do you think about that new screen? You think it has velocity too high underneath? Or do you think it's about right?
See how it feels down here. I can definitely feel that the water velocity underneath the punch plate is significantly less.
A lot less, huh?
But you know what? The way we're going to find out is to pull it out very carefully after we run a few more buckets.
Okay.
We're actually going to salt some gold in it, and then we'll pull it up and see what kind of results we get underneath.
All
Alright, this just gives you a different perspective on what we're doing. You can see we have a secondary sluice box sitting behind the main test box. This just gave us an extra sense of security. If we were going to lose something, we'd find it in the second sluice. Good news is we only found maybe 4 pinhead-sized pieces in it during our worst test. Most tests, the second sluice is completely clean. And during the day, we actually had a chance to try out 6 different screens, and let me tell you, it was a long day. We were out there for about, probably a little over 7 hours. So it was, but we had a blast, and both Patrick and I, we learned a lot, and we had a lot of help from a lot of friends of ours as well.
So what do you think about that new screen? You think it has velocity too high underneath? Or do you think it's about right?
See how it feels down here. I can definitely feel that the water velocity underneath the punch plate is significantly less.
A lot less, huh?
That was pretty fast. Seemed like it handled it okay.
It's moving the large rocks through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see anything. But it looks like the rest of the box is working pretty good, Pat.
Yeah. I'm going to pull the sluice out for a second.
All right.
Okay. What we want to see here is what kind of deposition of the material that we're getting that's building up on the riffles. I see that our screen lifted up here.
Yeah.
That's going to affect the flow.
Yeah, some bugs we got to work out.
Now I put some fine gold in there, and I put 10 pieces of gold in there. And
I'll tell you one thing, Pat, I don't mean to butt in, but if you look at the mat where the miner's moss is,
yeah,
I think I like the green carpet better, don't you?
it's running pretty clean.
Yeah, it's running clean, but it's still puckering up at the point. We'll continue to try it, but you can tell the Miracle Mat's doing its job.
You know, there's a lot more gold in here
Can you see any in the? Oh, wait
Yeah,
a second.
I see the-
some right here.
I see the whole thing peppered.
Okay, so you seeing the gold? Can you point to? I think I see a couple pieces. Can you point? to
Yeah,
them?
I don't have to point. It's everywhere.
Okay, cool. Now, how many pieces? You said you put 10 of them in.
You know what? I put 10 in there, but I think I had some material that I dumped.
I see another one in there too. In the front.
I see a little
Nice picker.
little picker there. I see a little picker there. But you know what? It doesn't matter how much gold's in the box. What I'm noticing is almost all the gold is still being caught on this front little mat and here. I see one larger flake down here, one picker, but the miner's moth's got it. Now, I don't really see too much beyond that. I know if there's fine gold, but you see how the miracle mat's working? It's running pretty clean. Behind the riffles here is where the gold actually gets sucked into. You know what? I'm seeing almost all the gold here,
Okay.
and none of it's even making it past this point. I think we're on the right path.
All right. Let's
I,
put it
I
up.
see one little tiny piece right there. I want to take it apart kind of carefully and see
Okay.
where the gold's going to end up. I'm going to kind of just clean the back side of the box first.
Oh, now I can see that gold in the front, Pat. It jumped out at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you did put you did find gold in there.
I just wanted to see where the gold is going. There's big gold and there's small gold. I was thinking that the water velocity might be so great that it would be right here. I only see one piece that made it on top of here.
Okay.
But some of the real fine stuff, look, the little fly specks in there, it looks like it's doing a good job catching. That's telling me that we're not getting too much water velocity underneath the
Or
screen.
too much losses either.
So that's a good test. Now I'm gonna kind of get a little bit more water flow, and I want to see how it's loading up and everything else. I want to kind of inspect the miracle mat now. Okay. I'm going to dump this here. And I'm going to turn the miracle mat around this way.
Don't go too fast. You wash everything out. And they're good.
Okay, it's okay.
I know.
Look at that. I didn't see much though.
So all the little
You know
flakes-
what? I think the majority of the gold ended up right in the first section. So we know that we're getting that low velocity flow underneath the screen. And that's really good. That's what we want to see.
Yep. Okay, so we went ahead, we switched the full grizzly front to screen here.
And we don't like the way it works.
No, we don't.
You know what? I kind of thought that that was going to be too wide and it was going to allow too much material to build up. I really don't like that. So
Let's switch back.
let's try some of the other ones now. Yeah, it's almost running too clean.
Yeah, a little different. All right, so we get this one back in.
I can see a little material hanging underneath that screen.
Yeah, I can too.
That's a little too big of a rock right there,
Oh, I
Mark.
know, but it'll go through in a minute.
Hey, that big rock sailed through.
Yeah, this one's working a little better, Pat.
A lot better.
This one.
Good plunk.
Carry it through, probably get stuck. Oh, just fade it out. Look at that. All right, so there's about a 5-gallon bucket in about 15-20 seconds, so that's a lot of material. We will have a couple rocks hang up in the front, but that's okay. It allows
You can
the-
skid those through with a shovel if you have to.
Yeah, and plus it doesn't hurt to leave them in there because it allows the clays and debris to disseminate underneath it. What do you think, Betty? Now, if we look behind our sluice, we have another sluice behind it. And what we're doing here, we're basically just going to check our tailings. You know that box was that's our tried and true A52 sluice box. But this is our new one, and we're just trying to double check our tailings, that's all. But you can tell, look back there in that back riffle, look at that, Pat. The Miracle Mat's doing a perfect job of holding just that fine black sand, probably a flower gold. So let's put some salt in here, try it out.
Okay, let's run a couple more buckets. Let me turn this off. That's some of the fine gold that I'm salting it with. And believe it or not, that's fine, super fine powder crushed out of quartz. That's the smaller gold we're actually testing with, just to show you.
So Pat, that's a salted bucket?
Yeah, there's exactly 10 little chips in there and a little bit of fine.
Okay. So you can see we have it here, another sluice behind it, just to catch anything the main sluice might have missed. Wow, you ran that fast, Pat. Really fast. That was about 50 pounds, 45 pounds of dirt I had in there. And you ran that through in, probably 30 seconds. Pull it, check both sluices, see if we got it in the first sluice and where in the first sluice we caught it.
Okay, let's run just a couple more buckets.
Okay.
Get a good deposit of black sand and the sorted material through it, and then we'll pull it out one more time, and before we switch some of the other stuff in there.
Sounds good.
This is our third test right now with all of our different classifiers that we're using. This was the original ones that we are building, so we're going to see how it works. I'm setting it on here, and see, instead of readjusting my legs, because I want to set the sluice in the same spot and get the same flow. And the most important thing is to know that we got all of our gold up in that first section.
I kind of like that. I like this one, like that small grizzly too, Pat. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I see a couple decent sized pieces. You know, Pat, I'm looking at the carpet versus the miner's moth. I think I'm liking the carpet better. What do you think? But look at that black sand load. That's perfect.
It seems to be catching.
Yeah. And look at this back end's working real nice too.
Yeah, the tall riffle.
The heaviest of the heavies.
This area has a tremendous amount of black sand. And that's why this makes it such a good testing ground, because you have a lot more black sands. Black sand make it more difficult because what it does is it fills a lot of the areas in where the gold would deposit, because generally if you run too much black sand and chokes up the riffles, the gold will actually skid on top of it. You can see where we got quite a bit here, but the gold that I put in there seems to still be hanging out right in the beginning.
Oh, I do see it from here, Pat. All right, so what we're doing is we're taking the sluice box apart section by section, just doing a real fast, quick pan to see if we got any color in the different sections. I did find a couple little pieces of color here, Pat, the back end.
Fly specks?
Definitely fly specks.
Well, you know, that was some crushed material that I got from the desert. It was probably a couple hundred colors.
Oh, there was? Okay.
And when I'm talking fly poop here.
Yeah, I see about maybe 4 or 5 little pinheads. I'll just do the next section here.
That's the Miracle Mat there.
Okay. Just in a really fast pan here.
The miracle match.
Save all this stuff anyways, but I just want to know where
Yeah,
it's
because
collecting
it's my gold.
This is true.
Mine.
I think it's our gold now, Pat.
Is that because it was found in a company sluice?
There you go. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of little pinheads.
Okay, let me get a little
Actually,
closer
a
here.
lot of flour, Patrick. Look at that.
Is all that glitters gold?
Now, Pat, I really do like the load of this better than the miner's moss, don't you? Or you like the moss better?
You know what? I
It
have
seems
mixed results. I think
seems-
that we're the black, the miner's moss might hold on to a little bit more, but I actually want to see the gold a bit.
Yeah, but this is a much heavier concentration
Give me
of
a hand.
blacks, I think.
All right, now you're talking. I think later on when I get home, I'm going to set up my Keene Super Concentrator and reclaim my gold.
Our gold.
I don't think so. Our fighting words.
Everybody knows in the whole world how inattentive you are about your gold. That's why it's so much fun to tease you on it. Patrick's got every piece of gold he ever found. He's never sold a piece he's ever bought.
No, I've given plenty away.
You maybe give it away, but you never sell it.
Don't make me buckle.
Oh, God. Okay. There's a mix of everything. Fine, coarse.
Okay, try to keep it to one side. I want to get it on.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Now, is that about what you had before? You salted it with?
None of the, just the little stuff. I think most of it's in the mat still.
All right, clean it. Oh, you mean up in the front? Yeah, the
Yeah.
big stuff is, yeah.
Okay, we're feeding Sluice into our fifth and our last test, which is a elevated plate with the screen on it. So everything that's getting fed on it is maintaining the same level. Now, once we put the gold in the bucket and do a few more bucket loads, I'm not really expecting to see the gold right at the very first little section. But so right now, for the last 5-10 minutes, I've been shoveling material into it, and it seems to be clearing off real well. And I've just taken bank material like this. Big rocks, small rocks. This is where a good spot is, behind the rock. A good accumulation of black sand right in this area here. Look at that, solid black sand.
You know, Pat, maybe we should try something modifying that screen with a grizzly on it. The flat one.
Okay, and we're using the stock A51 riffle with just the screen. We've tried it with the low ones. We know that works well. We just want to make sure that we're getting good deposition of our material and our black sands. And it's running good because I can still see a little bit of the expanded wire. The ripples aren't buried. We're not losing our ripple action.
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, it's unlocked.
Let's see how it looks. Well, it's pretty good, really. I mean, look at this. I'm going to zoom in on the ripples.
Now the pieces that I dropped on here,
Oh, I didn't think about that. Forgot about that.
which stopped here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think it's probably underneath this right in here.
Yeah.
6 right here, or 7. 8,
How many you put in there?
10,
Okay.
and hold on,
You might have made it in the first ripple.
9, and let's flush it so we can,
All right. But back to what I was saying, Pat. The ripples up there working pretty good.
okay.
So what are your thoughts on that last screen?
Honestly, I think I like some of the first ones. I like to be able to see what I'm finding.
Yeah,
I
I
like to be
kinda
able
do
to
too.
see the results. I'm going to pull this one out here.
Let's
Maybe
put-
we should pan that out.
All right. We'll do a quick pan on it.
Okay. Me and Mark have been working hard at this. We've tried 5 different types of setups and different variations, probably even more than that. And that's just today. I still find out that the one that's just solid punch plate, and I like the one with the small little grizzly right at the beginning. I think that works pretty good. What do you think,
I
Mark?
like the small grizzly in the front.
I do too.
Because I think what's happening is it allows the gold to drop out a little quicker and settle faster.
Yeah,
But it may require a tad bit more water. Maybe what we can do is maybe try to build a little cleaner next time we come out.
yeah,
A little more, maybe a little closer spacing.
I agree with that.
And I think the length's about right. The one was too long. That was a pretty good length.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So you know what? All in all, everything works. But in the test that we did with the one that was solid screen and the one with the short grizzly, we found 90% of our gold up at the very top, and the rest of the box was pretty much for redundancy.
And
So I'm pretty happy with the results because we're dealing with a lot of water flowing over the box. The thinner water flow, it's even going to work even better.
Yeah, and there's another point we got to make too, is that if you have a low water flow, you just remove the screens and run it like a standard sluice. The only recommendation is you might run the pre-classified the material.
Exactly.
But I think I like the larger expanded metal with the miracle mat in the middle.
Yeah.
I did like that configuration, I think.
I do.
So my favorite is the new riffle with the bigger expanded metal in the front, with the carpet and the miracle mat and the carpet and screen, with the punch plate with the small grizzlies in the front.
Yeah, I definitely like the smaller riffles in
Yeah,
the
I do
very
too.
front section of it with the miracle mat. It seemed to work really well. I think even better than the regular riffles. I like to see the gold, but I like to know that it's there.
But here's an important note. The regular riffle works really well.
Yeah, it does.
So, like, I think I may mention this earlier, but if a guy wants to slowly stage his box up from a standard Keene A52, just buy the screen.
Yeah.
And then he can buy the legs later if he wants. They can upgrade the riffle. So that basic A52 Sluice is the basis for this whole project.
I think so.
So,
I think
right.
we're pretty much done for today. I just have to go home, run all my stuff through my super concentrator and recover and retrieve all my gold, and I'll be a happy camper.
So we're going to make the new screen next week. We'll come out again.
Yeah.
Hopefully one more time. But it's been
Yep.
fun.
It has been. Thank you for being with us today.
Take care.
All right, these are some of the pictures of the things we're taking out for test number 7. You can see we've made quite a few changes, but every time we go out, we learn a few tricks. We find out what works and doesn't work. And this definitely looks like we're really close to buttoning up this project. If this works like I think it's going to, we're going to have ourselves one rock solid, high volume, fine goal recovery monster sluice box.